Fizzlebop, are you ready to conduct another Mars experiment? In this experiment, we're going to grow something that isn't alive. Sound kind of neato?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to use a chemical reaction to grow a crystal that you can then hang like an ornament. Pretty cool. All right, here we go. Today at Fizzlebop Labs, I'm assisted by Elsie and Waverly! Okay, let's get started. First, the Fizzlebop supply list. Warning, this experiment requires hot water, scissors, and borax. So safety first and get an adult to help or supervise. Do not ingest borax. These supplies are also per ornament. To make one ornament, we'll need wide mouth 32 ounce or 960 milliliter mason jars, several pipe cleaners, a ball of string, scissors, pencil, tape, 3 cups of water, 18 tablespoons or 270 grams of borax, food coloring, spoon, drinking glasses, and a spool of ribbon. Now, pause the video here and go gather your supplies. Okay, now that we've gathered our supplies, let's get to the experiment. We'll begin by getting creative. Twist your pipe cleaners into a design of your choosing, like a star or a heart. This will become your ornament. Here's a fizz tip for you.
Test your pipe cleaner shape to make sure it will fit through the mouth of the jar with extra space on either side.
Excellent! Elsie, do you know what you're going to make for your ornament?
I'm going to make an F for Fizzlebop Labs.
Fizztastic! Waverly, what ornament are you going to make?
I'm going to make a heart with pink all around it.
I love it! And I think I'll go ahead and make a star. All right, let's begin making our shapes. Wow, those are fizztastic! You did a marvelous job! Now that we've made our pipe cleaner shapes, we need to cut about 5 inches or 12.5 centimeters of string. We're going to tie one end of the string to our pipe cleaner shapes and tie the other end around the middle of a pencil. Let's do that now. Next, we're going to lower our pipe cleaner shapes into the jar with the pencil resting across the mouth of the jar to make sure the string isn't too long. Fizztastic! Here's a fizz tip.
Your pipe cleaner shape should not touch any part of the jar. If it touches the bottom, then roll the pencil so that string shortens. Add a piece of tape to where the string wraps around the pencil to hold it in place.
Excellent! You can now take the pipe cleaner out of the jar and set it aside. We're ready to pour the water into the jar. Warning, we are using boiling water. So get an adult to help or supervise this part of the experiment. Use a tea kettle to boil your water. We've done that here. Set your jar on a heat-safe surface and add the boiling water. Remember, we're going to add 3 cups of boiling water to each jar. Now, we need to add the borax to the hot water in the jar. For some Fizzlicious color, we're going to add 5 to 10 drops of your choice of food coloring to the jar. Elsie, what color did you pick?
Pink.
And Waverly, what did you choose?
Purple.
And I chose orange. So let's do that. Let's add 5 to 10 drops, depending on how bright you want your colors to be. I'm gonna do 7. How many did you do, Elsie?
I'm gonna do 9.
And Waverly, how many did you do?
I'm gonna do 5.
Fizztastic! Now, our next step is important. We're going to stir the borax and the food coloring into the water with a spoon so that it dissolves as much as possible. You should still see some particles of borax floating in the water. If you don't see any, take this extra fizz tip.
Try stirring in another tablespoon of borax. We want a well-saturated solution.
So you should see borax particles floating around in your solution to make sure that it's well saturated. All right, let's begin stirring. Okay, we can stop stirring now. All right, it's time to lower our pipe cleaner shapes into the jar so they are completely covered with the borax water solution. Oh, mine's spinning. The hard part is waiting to let our pipe cleaner shapes sit overnight. But in the morning, our pipe cleaner shapes will be covered in crystals, and we'll have our ornaments ready to keep or to give. Welcome back. We can now gently remove our ornaments from the jar and let them dry by hanging them in an empty drinking glass or an empty jar if your drinking glasses are too narrow. Here's one for you. These are fantastic mugs for root beer floats. And you know what root beer has? Fizz! Oh, I love fizz. All right, so we're going to go ahead and remove these. They'll be a little wet, so there might be some dripping, so don't do it in a place where you can't clean up. Look at that. What do you think? Wait, look at your ornament. Mine worked. It's a star. What's that? For Fizzlebop. And what's yours, Waverly?
And mine worked, but you can't see the pink
wow,
and blue
these are
anymore.
crystalicious. Let's set them in here to dry. We will move aside our bottles of liquid over here. And now, the hard part here is waiting for them to dry. These need to be completely dry before you hang them on your tree. So, let's watch them dry. Perfect! They're completely dry! Well done! So, now that our crystals are completely dry, we can cut off the string and tie a ribbon to the tops of our ornaments. Scissors, remember? Safety first with scissors at all times. And ribbon. Why don't you guys each pick out a ribbon for yours? Oh, it's almost so pretty. Perfect. Now we can hang our crystalicious, fizztastic ornaments on our Christmas tree at Christmas time. Or even leave them up near a window so the sunlight shines through and makes them sparkle. We could even give them as gifts if we wanted to. Awesome!
Dr. Fizzlebop,
Yes?
delivery from Phoenix Delivery.
Phoenix Delivery, they always know exactly what we need. A Christmas tree! Let's decorate it with our ornaments. Oh, fizztastic, marvelous, and wondrous! What beautiful ornaments we have. I hope when you're done with your ornaments, you'll snap a picture and post them online so we can see the results of your marvelous, crystalicious, fizztastic experiments. Tag us at Fizzlebop Labs and use hashtag Fizzlebop.
Dr. Fizzlebop, what's happening?
Well, borax is a chemical that forms crystals under the right conditions. We first created a saturated chemical solution by mixing the boiling water and the borax together. When we inserted our pipe cleaner shapes into the solution, we gave the borax particles something to attach to. That's when the crystals began to form, which in turn allowed more and more and more layers of crystals to form on top of each other as the temperature of our solution continued to cool. Evaporation of the water caused additional borax to crystallize on the pipe cleaner. Isn't that fizztastic? Now, it's time to collect our data. You can record it under this experiment in Faith and Science with Dr. Fizzlebop on page 38 or in your Fizzlebop Labs notebook. First, how quickly did you notice crystals beginning to form? Did your pipe cleaner design work well for growing crystals, or maybe not so much? What would you do differently next time? That's it! Enjoy your sparkly crystal creations, and I hope you'll share your ornaments with me by tagging at Fizzlebop Labs and using hashtag Fizzlebop. Thanks for joining us here at Fizzlebop Labs. I'm Dr. Fizzlebop, this is Elsie and Waverly, and we hope you had as fizztastic time as we have. Join us here each week for a new experiment.